Hey, Mike,
Butterfly bill.
Liz Garst can't hear you.
Oh, okay,
She's on.
all right. Hi, Liz. Great to have you. Just complimenting Tom, and she complimented you too, Liz, for all you've done up at White Run. But the point you make is so well underscored when you take somebody out there for the first time, right around the solstice. And they just look up that hill and they go, wow, they've never seen it. They had no idea, what Iowa looked like. So I think your point is very well taken. Just getting people out like that and get them to care. And get them to know and then to care.
There's one way to change that false mentality that they're just all weeds. They're not weeds.
That's right. That's right. We got two things to do. Chris Henry wants to say a few words, and then Ty Smedes, thank you very much, Ty, has gone over some pictures that people submitted from the watershed, so we can celebrate the beauty of the watershed in our final little effort here with these pictures. But Chris, you want to go with Ty
I
first?
want to go
Okay,
Ty first. and
Okay,
then I'll
so
finish.
Ty, you want to talk to us about these pictures? All right.
Well, first of all, before we get started, I want to give a big thank you to Tom. Big thank you. I remember the first time I walked out to Tipton Prairie, I'd never been there before, and I visited a few prairies. Don't know much about them, admittedly, but I walked in and I just went, wow. And it's so good to have Tom come and do this floristic survey, because now we've got a benchmark for future years. As we all know, things are deteriorating nature-wise, and so now we've got a benchmark. And wow, wonderful study. Very much appreciated. I'll be smiling the rest of the day.
And it's complemented by all the great photographers we have.
A lot of great insects there too. Okay, well, I think Mike came up with this idea to do a watershed photo contest. We had done one 6 or 7 years ago, I think. And so we decided to try one again. It's just kind of in fun. And so I did pick some winners. I kind of spread the logo around, and I think most of you saw some of the pictures that were rotating as you came in. So that's what you're going to see. Well, we created several categories: recreation, plants, animals, and scenics. And first of all, looking at recreation, we didn't get very many entries. We only got a couple. And this might make you chuckle. I called it recreation because people are canoeing on the river. There is someone swimming. Most of the canoes are full of garbage.
Yeah, that was Project Aware.
Project Aware.
About the middle, I believe.
But yeah, nice picture, and a nice, leading line coming through the picture diagonally, and all the canoes and people lined up. And it tells a nice story. People are out on the river, they care, and they're cleaning it up. So I like that one the best. Really, the only other one we had of the river was another one that Mike did of a canoe trip. Mike does many of these, as many as he can throughout the years, depending on water levels. But just a nice day on the river. Okay, going to scenics, and I know we had to leave early. I liked Tom Shearer's early morning scenic along the river. I don't know where that one was taken, but I just like the moodiness. It's always nice to be out around sunrise or sunset and see the shadows of the special light. I also like this one. This one was really different. Downtown, probably taken from the Southeast 6th Bridge, I imagine. Confluence of the Raccoon and the Des Moines rivers. It's an interesting picture downtown. The more you look, the more you see. There's a lot of Canada geese on the ice, a few eagles, I believe, and there's some eagles in the trees here. So it kind of shows another aspect of the Raccoon River, really the very end of the river itself. And here's one by Ray Harden, a scenic. I think that might have been taken out at Mike Delaney's, I believe, wasn't it, Ray? Yes. Okay, a fall scenic. Okay, with plants, this was interesting too. I like this. This was by Allie Delaney. It's probably a smartphone picture, but that's okay. They take great pictures nowadays. Wide angle type look with a butterfly milkweed right in the foreground. That's obviously the object there. So that's out at Mike Delaney's prairie. Okay, and another one by Mike, downy gentian. I don't know how much of this plant you have out there.
Just getting started.
It's getting started, he says. I know Mike propagates and tries to spread some of his orbs around, and he's had good success with that. Okay, animals. This particular photo really struck me because it's really different.
Eddie.
Now, when we used to judge photos in Camera Club, one of the contest categories we had was photojournalism. Photojournalism pictures aren't necessarily sharp, colorful, well composed, but they generally tell a story. And this tells a story at first glance. First of all, you have the dog
Eddie.
who's descended from the wolves that were tamed and domesticated over thousands of years. We all know we've got all these species of dogs.
Eddie.
He probably weighs hundreds of times more than this white-breasted nuthatch. But the nuthatch lands, and there they are, nose to nose. I mean, the dog could have just got him in one go.
He's
Story
beautiful.
behind this, Mike?
You want the truth?
Yeah. Don't tell me it's a setup.
Almost. That bird hit the window.
Oh.
So he was dazed, and I told Eddie, no, be nice. And just,
He's got the most well-mannered dog. You can have food out on the table. He walks up and looks all around, but he doesn't touch a thing. But anyway, this is pretty special. Pretty special indeed. You just don't see a picture like this very often. So I like this for first place. Here's one of Margaret Harden's. Really like this. Indigo bunting.
That's really pretty.
Really nice and colorful. The background is really blurred out, so the full emphasis is on the bird. Kind of looking to the left, and yeah, really nice composition. So I really like this picture. Okay, and then Colleen had one with a monarch caterpillar, and butterfly milkweed provides a lot of color. So that was very nice as well. Okay, and so those are the categories, the winners. I don't know if we're going to do this next year. We've talked about it, but.
oh, I hope so. I hope it isn't a Delaney show, but.
I had a lot of fun photos, and Robin does amazing photos. I often feature her photos and some of the others in this room on the UMRI website. Almost every single month, I ask if I can feature somebody's photo.
Well, I encourage everybody, if we do this again next year, everybody's got a digital camera nowadays or a smartphone. So send me some entries or whoever's going to judge it. And we'll see a lot more good pictures next year. Thank you, Ty. What a good experience.
Ty's a professional photographer, professional nature photographer, and goes to great. Hi, Mary. I didn't know Mary was here. Good to see Mary. Mary Hayes, one of the founders of the Raccoon River Watershed Association, and a beekeeper. So again, thanks. It goes to New Guinea, goes to Africa, and goes south to Antarctica. You probably all know Ty. How many of you seen Ty's presentations in the past? And look, you've got 35%. Chris Henning has got something to say.
So I need my little list back. All right, I want to say a couple of things. First, I want to recognize Mary, and there are a couple other people who have been involved, Mike Murphy and so forth, and the board of the Raccoon River Watershed, people who are here. Can you raise your hands? Okay. And Mike Delaney, who I consider the founder because he was one of the first people I knew. Mary Hayes, I think, was on that first board as well. I want to tell you just so briefly what it is we're doing right now and invite you to participate in a couple of things. You heard about Tom Rosberg's project. We have a proposal from Lee Searles about a project that we're considering for the next year. We have a research and education arm that is based on donations from the public, from members, and from the board members. And so I am inviting you all to join us if you haven't already. I know I'm preaching to the choir in half this room, if not 3/4, if not 100% of you. But if you haven't looked at our raccoonriver.org website, you can do those donations through Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation's help. We can do those through the web, and you can join. And your memberships help. They help us get people like Laura, who are doing things that I had no idea, that I have an arsenic kit in my living room that
I took out the picture of a comparison between arsenic as a certified lab test result compared to what they'll sell you as a field-based citizen test. So don't freak out because
Anyway, I have that kit and one of my neighbors has that kit. So there are projects going on that we don't know about until we hear from some of you about things that do affect us. Tipton Prairie is one of those things. It's 4 miles from my house and I didn't know about it until the RRWA. Okay, I grew up 5 miles from a prairie that I'm crazy about reconstructed. I've got gossip. Anyway, I want to invite you all, besides being members, besides being benefactors, to some of the citizen science things that Bob Rye has, who's sitting here beside me. Christine Curry's on that committee. Rob Davis is on that committee. Who else? Anyway, there's a birds at Dunbar Slough in Greene County that Colleen Radava is helping with. On April 30th, there's a tree walk here in Des Moines that we haven't got a schedule on yet, and maybe a tour of Waterworks. Now that one's limited. We may have to do a lottery because I think half of the board wants to go on that Waterworks tour. And I'm sure that there are lots of you who haven't been on it recently. June 21st, we have Delaney down for showing us Tipton Prairie, and Tom Rosberg, your date showing Tipton Prairie is with Iowa
Native Plant Society, July 2nd.
Native Plant Society, and that's in July 2nd. And we have our regular meetings on the second Saturday. Now that we're able to be in person, we may be able to go back to some Prairie meetings where we can see you in person, because we've been for 1.5 years, almost 2 years on Zoom only. And it's so much more fun this way, where we get to share at networking times and lunches and so forth. Now I'm going to turn it back to Mike Delaney for the final words of the day. I just really want to appreciate all of you for your presentations, for your work, and for your involvement in all things environmental, in all things nature, in all things. Thank you.
And Chris, thank you for all your advocacy and leading for RRWA.
It's like Brian McGarvey. How you doing, Brian? Board member, he's out there in Colorado. Mary Ellen Miller is on there. Jennifer Kurth is a board member. Elizabeth Partridge is on. And looks like Jan Cordman maybe. So
Yep.
yeah, so we've got quite
Got
a
a
few
few.
people out there in the Facebook land.
Oh,
And your
might
mom and
say
dad.
that the presentations will be available on raccoonriver.org. And
Yeah.
we will be sending them out. If you you join by giving us your email address on the website, and we'll get the rest of it to you.
That, we're gonna have an impact out there in the real world. All that.
All
work,
right.
all that knowledge, I mean, it's all there. And, it shouldn't be just within the confines of university people. Cornelia's work, we're pushing it out, and that's the company.
We got to get the general
Well,
public. We
that's
got to
right.
make celebrities out of.
We need to get this information out, and Neil, of course, Neil's got it nailed with his books. He's gonna get the word out. Art Cullen's a good friend up the road too. I hope you guys are supporting the stormy times. I don't have anything else to say, just thank you all for coming. It's great to have you here. It was a very good day, so thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a great afternoon. Thank you.